2-0, pumped up about that. Found a way to win a couple of football games where we were favorites. So that's kind of been the message to our football team. You know, we split up our season into quarters, and so this game coming up this week pretty important to us. Kind of finishing up a little bit on last week's game. Had a couple of injuries in the game. Of course, A.J. Bush injured his hamstring a little bit. We'll kind of see how it goes with him this week. But most of you had a chance to see Edwin Carter's big hit. Great play by him. As good a catch as you'll see. As good a touchdown catch as you'll see, just in general. But significant knee injury. He will be lost for the rest of the season, unfortunately. Beyond that, we had a couple other guys that went down with minor injuries. Hopefully, we'll get some more guys back this week. Some young players stepped up. Of course, M.J. Rivers came in and played well, played good football. Whenever a freshman gets a chance to play, especially at the quarterback position, that's tough duty. But he really stepped up. Gave our team a chance to win the football game. Mike Epstein played well on the offensive side of the football. Offensive line, whenever you can run the ball like that, it's pretty good. So did some good things on the offensive side. Defensively, when you take the ball away like that, fourth down stops, you have a chance to win the football game. Jamal Woods was our player of the game on the defensive side. Active throughout. We've asked him to play defensive end, defensive tackle, and he played this role well. Special teams contributed to that win as much as anything also. Jake McLaughlin was our special teams player of the week. Of course, 2 big field goals he hit. And he continues to really kick the ball well on our kickoff. Quite a few touchbacks. So a lot of good things. Dawson DeGrew, of course, blocking the punt was big. Stanley Green, who's here, of course, getting a touchdown. So big win for us this past week. South Florida last year really got after us. We didn't show up and play good football by any means, all 3 phases. So to get an opportunity to play better football, compete a lot better than we did last year, of course, it's right at the top of the list. We need a great week of practice to get ready for them. They have a similar approach offensively to our offense. So we've had a little bit more practice getting ready for that form of offensive attack. So big challenge for us, excited about going to Chicago, playing at Soldier Field and all of that. Take your question.
Lovie, when did you come to a determination about MJ that he would be your backup?
It's been a process going throughout. First off, going to training camp, just having the guys compete for the starting position. AJ won that, but there was more competition going out throughout the other spots. So it's a period of time. Matt Robinson, of course, did some good things in training camp. M.J. Rivers, of course, did some too. But over a period of time, we thought that A.J., or we thought that M.J., A.J. M.J. is going to get that confused a little bit. We thought M.J. should get the next rep. And glad we did. And he played well.
What's AJ's week look like ahead? When we see the week?
We have to get to the practice field and kind of see a little bit. AJ will tell you, it's not as bad as whenever you can't finish a game, though, there's concern. But again, he's making a lot of progress.
Other players like Tony Adams and Ricky Small doing their recovery process.
Progressing well. Both were close. Ricky was close the last week, I would say. So we're hopeful. Tony Adams has been out for a while, but again, we saw a lot of progress in him. Around this period of time was the date that we had kind of circled where he would have the best chance of getting back on the football field. So hopefully we'll be able to have him. And Ricky Smalling was very close last week.
Coach Jamal Milan, Tyler Oliver, and Mario Oladipo, 3 of your top defensive tackles. Do you think there's a chance they could play next week?
Chance? Yes.
How close are they?
I mean, they're close, and guys, believe me, when we talk about injuries, I'm not, if I knew, I wouldn't tell you then either, for the record. But we really don't know. exactly where they are. They're making progress. They're doing a lot of things, but if they were ready to go this past week, we would have played them. We don't hold guys out, and if you're ready to go, you're healthy, we'll play you. We need, of course, all hands on deck. So, can't wait to get to the field and see exactly where they are this week.
Yeah, is there something that they need to do? Do they need to practice 3 or 4 days this week for you?
They need to practice. They need to start practicing full speed.
Okay.
As a general rule, we don't have a rule that you have to practice all days that week. If you're healthy to go Saturday, we'll play you. If we feel comfortable, if you know what to do and you can do it.
Coach, 2 games, and what have you learned about your team?
We finished well. What I've learned is that we haven't played a full game yet, as much as anything. But that's how it goes. You keep showing up, which we'll do. We're seeing progress throughout, and get to a point. Hopefully this week where we kind of peak at the right time, starting off right away. So what we learned offensively is that we can move the ball, we can do some things. I think everything we want to be as a football team, we've seen signs of being able to do that once we put everything together.
With a true freshman quarterback, you might not know exactly what you get until he's in a live game situation. The way AJ played, does that give you some comfort if AJ's not 100%?
Yes, it does. I think it's that case for all players. Freshmen, just in general, until you get to that first game, it's a new year every year. But your first action, you have an idea though. And as you go through practice, that's where you get that idea of how somebody will play based on what they've done. And with MJ, he can throw the ball. That's his background from what he did in high school. Our quarterbacks, we were really excited about all of them. But team-wise, yes, you can't wait to get to see their first action, and you hope that it would go a certain way. And that's for the most part how all of our young freshmen play.
A lot of, you mentioned several switching to his poise and getting poised in that game. But interesting me from his decision making. He was pretty decisive. The plays there, he's going to make it or not.
Well, I think having poise and having confidence, and you know what you're doing a little bit, you prepared. I think that's what it kind of comes down to. Whatever year you're in, if you're prepared, and of course you love football, which all of our guys do, a lot of those things happen. So, but again, at that position, that's how he's been. He's been playing that position a long period of time. He came to University of Illinois to eventually play football for us. So none of this is really shocking him.
What were the guys who've been suspended be available this week?
Getting closer. They didn't play last week. New week coming up this week. Be able to talk to you a little bit more about everything as the week plays out.
As you've had these injuries and suspensions, how has that impacted your team and just your own evaluation of what you guys have?
Well, with this, suspensions, hopefully you don't have a lot of suspensions, but injuries come up where you have to look at other players that maybe would have to wait a little bit longer. It's always about the next person up. Whatever reason a player can't play, life goes on. And that's why you're constantly developing, just not your starters, but the bottom of your roster. Whether it be scholarship players, we talked about the number of walk-ons that have started for us. And we're just looking at the best guys that have proven to us, showed us that they can help us, and you get opportunities to play. When you get an opportunity, you got to perform well.
With your running backs, you use all of them. Do that. Will you ride a hot hand more? If one guy is, maybe like we might have seen had a couple of really good ones.
Yes, we will. But say ride a hot hand. We think just going in on who we are, we play multiple running backs. We think they all bring something different to the table. And it's based on what type of game we feel like we need to have, whether we lean on one a little bit more than other. Other night, of course, Mike had a couple long runs, but going in, that was kind of the plan a little bit too. And that could change by quarter, by game, by week. But just as a general rule, we go in thinking we're going to play all 3 of our guys.
What improvements did you see from Isaiah Gay in week 2?
He'll say he played a lot harder. Isaiah, when you're, I know from experience a little bit, when I'm lighter, life seems a whole lot better. When you put on a few pounds, though, I mean, it takes a little get used to. I think he handled that better. We didn't play as many reps, but he played a lot harder. And Isaiah Gates is a good football player. And, we have to keep the rotation going with him, but we saw improved play. Improved play not from just Isaiah, from our defensive line. Our defensive line played pretty good football this past week.
Coach Sidney Brown and David Harding both went down, but it looks like they fell right a little bit. Are they in the concussion protocol or what?
We'll kind of see exactly where everybody is, since we don't talk a whole lot about injuries until a little bit later on. But there's no ball. It was a physical football game. A lot of big hits. When you have some big hits like that, some guys go down a little bit. But we take every precaution, and all precautions really with our players. If guys do have an injury or if they're in a concussion protocol, we'll do what we need to do. But we'll see how that plays out.
Well, would you discuss the situation with Watkins in terms of the targeting call and the rule, and your feeling about the rule, and what have you done about that this week? Will you play him in the second half?
There's a whole lot of questions in there that I kind of, well, first off, we want the game to be as safe as possible. And, if you lead with your helmet, crown of your helmet, targeting, can be called. We've seen that play that Cam made over and over again. Didn't necessarily agree with it at the time, but we, of course, when we're in disagreement with some calls, we submit that to our league office, and they give us a ruling on it a little bit. But that's going to stand. And sometimes I think it's hard to avoid some collisions like that, is what I would say. And we teach our guys to sprint tackle, not use their head, to try to put the head to the side, not use the crown of their head. All those things we try. Sometimes that's not the case. And, we get punished. So what we're going to do, Cam will miss the first half of this game, and somebody else will step up. He'll be ready to go the second half.
Coach, what has Michael Marquez meant to your team as another walk-on who's worked really hard and obviously got the chance to start?
Just that. Worked hard. Initially, he had a special team role on our team. When you're a young player trying to make your mark, you need to play. And every time you get an opportunity, you need to do well. We'll find other ways to give you more reps. And that's what's happened with Michael Marquez. Michael plays hard. He's a physical guy. And Mike did some good things in the game. He'll tell you. Stanley Green, I think, is here too. Safety-wise, we had a couple balls get over our head. We can't allow that. We're not set up to give up big plays. We should always be keeping the ball in front of us. But what Michael did, it's always neat to get an interception. We're going to work on Mike's running skill a little bit. When he gets that close to the end zone, he needs to be able to get it in the end zone. But like everything about him, tough guy, shows up, works hard, all of that. Good for our program.
Jamal Woods, the first two games, made a lot of disruptions, pressures.
Yes.
He had a couple guys in front of him. What have you seen from him, his development?
We talk about opportunities. Things happen where some guys are ahead of you, and when you get a chance, you make the most of it. And that's what Jamal has done. Again, we played him at the defensive end position. We played him at tackle. He's lined up a few times at the nose position. He plays hard. He's one of those in-betweener, a tweener a little bit as far as his size. But, as a third down guy, it's tough duty with his quickness on a bigger guard. But when you play hard like that, and you're just kind of non-stop motor, we can find a place for you. But, that's how he was in high school. Go down and talk to, he's from Jameis Winston's old high school, and they talk about him a certain way, and that's exactly who we get each day.
Coach, what type of challenge will this USF offense give your defense, and how do you want to see them respond?
A lot better than we did last year. And it posed a lot of problems. Running the same scheme, different quarterback. Last year, more of an athletic, maybe run first option at the quarterback position. This year, of course, the quarterback is mobile enough to run, but he would describe himself as a passer that will occasionally run. But the rest of the attack is the same thing, same coaches in place, so we know what we're getting. receiver-wise, I think this is about as good a blocking receiver group as we'll play against. So, big challenge for us in a lot of different ways.
What's key? Sorry, Doug. What's key against a team that you know is pretty fast?
What's key? Let's play as fast as we possibly can. Keep the ball in front of you as much as anything. You know, where does speed hurt you? When you can run away. I mean, we're set up. Of course, we have a free safety most of the time, or 2D, some form of trying to just make them earn it the hard way as much as anything. When you're playing an offense like this, of course, we have a similar tactic. Just need to be sound defensively as much as anything. It's about assignment football this week as much as anything. That's what we'll need to do.
Even though Mike played against Kent State last week, it seemed like or not last week, but it looked like he kind of truly came back to form last week against Western Illinois. How does it feel to have him coming back and looking like the player he was freshman year?
Feels good. You know, we need all, it's about scoring points. And running back wise, when you're spread offense, you're going to get opportunities. Once we get them to the second level, we need to make a few guys miss. But Mike Epstein, as long as he's been healthy around here, has been a good football player. So that's what we're expecting from him.
So during the course of your career, kind of player, personality-wise, makes the best kind of backup quarterback? And does MJ have some of those traits you're looking for?
Well, the best, through my career, the best, first off, you need a student of the game. Backup quarterback's not going to get a lot of reps. So you need to be able to take mental reps as much as anything. And then just be that glue. Be there to help the guy that's on the field playing. Be that coach, So there's and when your name is called upon, though, you need to step up to the plate by your preparation. Again, to me, to prepare as a backup is harder than to prepare as a starter, based on those things and a limited amount of reps. And when you're a young player like MJ, to be ready to go like that, and you never really know until a guy plays. There's been some great backup quarterbacks, we assume they were, and never had to play a lot, but when you have to play, you need to make plays.
Well, physically, you talk about his poise, I wasn't, but physically, what does he bring that challenges defense?
Well, it's poise, but he can throw the ball. I mean, that's, MJ is would describe himself as, hey, I'm a thrower that will occasionally run. But he can throw the ball as much as anything, and that's what you're looking for. I think he made good decisions, good game plan too, some of the plays. Situation-wise, just based on us talking about a running game and all that, you kind of know what you're going to get on the outside a little bit, and need to be able to deliver the ball to our receivers, and he did that.
Earlier today, Charlie Strong was sort of referred to as a trap game getting ready for you guys. Is that something that you guys can use to sort of motivate players?
No.
Or just not even register at all?
Just not register at all. We're playing a good opponent this week. No more than that. Don't need bulletin board, material, anything like that. This team beat us badly last year, and we're excited about playing this year.
What have you seen out of Kendrick Green in his first 2 starts in the league?
Kendrick Green, improved play from week to week. The reason why we put him over there, bigger body, bigger athlete that can move around, tough guy. I think Kendrick, everything you're looking for, great future ahead of him. That speed that he has, wrestler, all those things, toughness is what he has brought to the table. And his play will get better and better each week, just based on experience at the position.
Kevin Smith, a guy transitioning from wide receiver to safety this year. What have you kind of seen on his progression? Part of the fumble against Western Illinois.
He's progressing. We're playing a lot of guys, a lot of safeties have played for us back there. Kendall's strong suit now would be more playing the pass than the run. But again, when you want to get a receiver that wants to play there, that helps an awful lot. I mean, he kind of requested to move as much as anything, and another one of the young players that hasn't had a lot of experience back there, but will get better and better as he gets better.
Coach Nate Holmes and Ben Williams both were FaceTiming the guys after the game, congratulating them. What does that tell you about them a little bit? They're still bought into the team, even though they're not around them all the time.
I don't know really what to say. I mean, as much as anything, we can't wait to get them back out there on the football field. That's how they can help their teammates as much as anything. But just kind of leave it at that.
Vaughn Martin, as a true freshman, has made 2 starts. It's not something you see very often. What did you see from him in his progression from week 1 to this past week?
He's been impressive, and since he's been on campus, really. all-season workouts. What we've seen is we need to see him play. When we recruited him, we thought he could play corner, safety. We had a couple options with him, but he is knows what he's doing, plays hard, can be a physical player, had a couple of good tackles. Of course, he has an interception right now also. So just really kind of like everything. Quan Martin will it'll be a lot of fun kind of watching him grow. As you can see, we have him out there. We have a lot of confidence in him, and of course, for all our Florida guys, when they get a chance to play against a team that's surprised a special game for them.
Dwayne Weir being out of last week's game. What's just kind of his status heading into this week?
They're all getting better. Again, we say that we have a practice that we'll get back out on the practice field tomorrow morning. We'll be able to, talk a little bit more about how we stand through.
What was kind of bothering him Saturday?
He had an injury.
You spent a lot of your time of your career in Chicago at Soldier Field. What kind of feelings going back there this weekend?
I've been to Chicago a lot of times since then. Have a little place there, so we're big game for us as much as anything. Soldier Field, a lot of history there. Besides that, just excited about getting a chance to play a team that beat us up last week.
Is there anything you think about with special teams, in particular with possible conditions that occur at Soldier Field?
No, not really. It's a grass surface. We practice on grass every week. So not much. We have wind blowing here, big wind up there. We don't have to adjust an awful lot really with the surface, anything like that. This time of the year, the weather's pretty good, so shouldn't have to adjust an awful lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Players and coaches are